I'm sorry, I can't get over this guy. Do they... Like, clearly they made clothes to fit your body. They couldn't come up with boots or any other kind of feet. I mean, that's just not sanitary. Really, it just seems unsafe. Like, you're gonna be walking around through a flight deck with gasoline and oil and munitions all over the place, and you're just walking around in that barefoot. That's just not a good idea in general, dude. You're fucking stupid. The artists couldn't come up with, like, sandals? Like, a bottom heel? A bottom fucking sole for him to wear around? That's just so dumb to me. Anyway, Wedge Antilles. Where is he? Where'd he go? There he is. There's Wedge. Yeah! Wedge is like the best fucking character. I think that's his actual actor, too. I think they got the actual actor. They certainly got his likeness. Which is funny, because I thought the actor for Wedge was like, fuck this, I don't want to be in Star Wars anymore, so I don't know what happened with that. Wedge is one of the best characters in, like, the expanded Star Wars media, because he's an example of a problem that Star Wars media always has, but it's done well, right? Because Star Wars media has this problem that like, it's either like fanboyism or fan servicism. Like a tie between fanboying and fan servicing. It's this problem where, like, they can never do anything original. My example that I always go to with this is whenever an AT-AT shows up, which are those walking tanks from the opening of Empire Strikes Back on Hoth. I don't know why I'm explaining that. Whenever AT-ATs show up, they treat it like it's standard operating procedure that you jump into a snow speeder and tie up its legs to trip it. But, like, that was clearly not what was happening in the movie. They were trying to shoot the AT-AT, and they said, oh, our speeders' lasers are not good enough. They had to come up with an ulterior solution. And it was like, you know, Battlefield inventive thinking that led them to think of, let's tie up the legs and trip it up. But clearly, if they had better weapons available, they would have just shot them. But no, Star Wars video games treat AT-ATs like they're invincible, unstoppable tanks, and the only way to take them down is to tie up the legs with snow speeders. Even though that's clearly, like, was that the first time AT-ATs had ever been used? Has the Empire never employed AT-ATs in the war before? Has the Rebel Alliance never fought AT-ATs before? They clearly thought they'd be able to just shoot them down, and they clearly recognized that the armor was too strong for blasters. But no, every time AT-AT shows up, they think, oh, the game goes, okay, now get into the snow speeder and tie it up. Because you can't pull your head out of George Lucas's ass enough to realize that that's not the only way to deal with an AT-AT. But that's what it was in the movie. You gotta do it like it was in the movie.
The Star Destroyer? Aren't you tossing him in the deep end a little early, Lyndon?
Vanguard can handle it, can't you? Besides, Project Starhawk needs that Star Destroyer for, well, you know. Wedge made a name for himself at the Battle of Yavin. He knows that system better than the Empire ever will. You'll be fighting on the Rebellion's old turf. So if Wedge has any advice, you'd be smart to listen.
You know, a wounded Krakana can still bite. Just watch yourself around that Star Destroyer.
We're in space! Did you know we're in space? Penny Arcade made fun of that, like, years ago, and it's still so right on. Like, it was a Penny Arcade comic. I'm gonna waste time and look it up. Arcade Star Wars book comic. And it was like drawn on post-it notes also. I'll cut this out if I remember. Man, I'm so bad at finding things. Oh, here we go. This jackass just said that something can go through a ferrocrete bunker like neutrino through plasma. Like, I get it, man. It says Star Wars on the cover. I know I'm reading about Star Wars. It's like, do they not have butter in space or hot knives to cut it with? That always bothers me. It's like, oh, a quartered cocker can still bite. Like, dude, I get it. You don't have to pull the shit. Anyway. So that's always a big problem I have with Star Wars media, where it's like, we gotta do it like it was done in the movie.
Enough to steal a Star Destroyer and get away with it. Normally, I'd have Rogue Squadron for this, but General Syndulla gave me a temporary assignment to Project Starhawk. Meanwhile, Rogue is handling, well, that's classified too. General Syndulla keeps us busy. Your commander and I have something in common. I once flew for the Empire too, at Sky Strike Academy.
Half the fucking Rebel Alliance used to be part of the Empire. God damn.
I wish more of my friends had done the same.
You know what would be a good twist, actually?
Talus Group's waiting for us.
You know what would be a good twist? Half of the people we're talking to used to be part of the Empire, right? Wedge used to be part of the Empire. This guy used to be part of the Empire. That bitch, her family is like makes TIE fighters for the Empire. Everyone used to work for the Empire. You know what would be a great twist? Is if at the end of this story mode, our Rebel pilot defects and joins the Empire, but our Empire pilot defects and joins the Rebels. Like, they switch places. That would be cool. No? No. Gonna grab a charger. Every time I'm recording this fucking battery, I swear. So the problem is, it's a mix of two things. It's, well, we want to do it like they did it in the movie, right? Like, we want to give players playing this Star Wars game the experience of playing the thing that happened in the movie, right? That's part of it. Oh, you gotta get into the snowspeeder and tie up the AT-AT and trip it, because that's what happened in the movie, and if you're playing a Star Wars game, you probably saw the Star Wars movie, and you want to do the thing that happened in the movie in the game, right? So half of it's fan service. The other half of it is, they're so fucking cripplingly unoriginal that they can't think of introducing anything new to the toy box, right? Because what you're doing when you're making a Star Wars game is you're playing in someone else's toy box. You're playing in George Lucas's toy box, and you don't have either the creativity or the liberty, and I don't think it's that they don't have the liberty. I think it's they don't have the creativity to realize that you can grab your John Cena action figure and play with the Darth Vader action figure with it. They don't realize that you can do something different. You can say, hey, let's have the Y-Wing drop a bomb on the AT-AT and blow it the fuck up. No, they never think to do that. Gotta get the snowspeeder. Don't do something that would make sense.
We're headed to Yavin. An exalted company, it seems. And now we know Project Starhawk needs an Imperial Star Destroyer. That's enough firepower to tackle a small fleet, or a means to catch the Empire off guard. But that wouldn't warrant all this secrecy. There must be more to the commander's plan.
God damn it.
To Yavin, then. Let's not delay.
Oh, it skipped her dialogue. All she did was go, "Mom, my family worked for the Empire. My poor bigoted father worked for the Empire and made Star Destroyers, and he likes Star Destroyers because he works for the Empire. That's all my character is." Shut the fuck up. You never heard the expression "need to know basis"? You don't need to know what Project Starhawk is. All you need to know is that it's what you need to do for your part of the operation. Ever worked for a fucking military before, you goddamn idiot? So anyway,
The commander wants you in an X-wing for this mission.
so the reason, like, Wedge Antilles is actually a good example of that. A good example of, we gotta take something that was in the movie, and that's all we're limited to being able to do and think of and use. Because the strike on the Death Star, like, they sent, like, 30, 50 ships, 30, 50 X-Wings and Y-Wings on that mission. And 3 survived. Luke Skywalker, who is a Jedi, Wedge Antilles, and some fucker in a Y-Wing. And that fucker in the Y-Wing's the real hero. But Wedge Antilles is like one of the only dudes who survived the run on the Death Star. And so because he's the one out of 3 survivors out of 50 who helped blow up the Death Star, he gets exalted in universe.
Let's hope for some of that Skywalker luck today.
He gets exalted as a badass in universe. Everyone in universe went, "Dude, Wedge Antilles was part of the strike on the Death Star, and he lived, and everyone else died, and he wasn't even a Jedi. Holy shit." So, like, that's what makes it cool. That, like, yeah, it's cool whenever Wedge shows up in an expanded media and is a badass, and everyone treats him like a badass, and the story treats him like a badass, because everyone in universe is like, "Dude, that guy's a war hero. He was part of the strike on the fucking Death Star. What a badass." He's an example of using, like, something from the movies and not really being able to, like, think creatively outside of that utility, but in a good way, and in a fun kind of way. I don't like how the tutorial is really, like, it pauses me. It's kind of obtrusive. I mean, that's so, I mean, like, look, I clapped when I saw it. Excitement when you see, being serviced as a fan is a valid feeling to have. I will never reject, I will never reject fan service in and of itself. It's all about, you know, how you use it. What is that? Oh, that's a ping. I'm so used to my auto lock-on shots. These interceptors. I can't lock on through the mist or whatever it is, the gas giant.
Stay in the clouds too long. Even this high up, the heat's gonna strip your hull.
You heard the droid. Got one on my tail.
That's almost all of them. Then don't stop now.
Oh, right, I'm flying. I have iron weapons. I don't like those. Give me something I can kill. I don't want to, like, oh yeah, hit him with this. That'll slow him down and let you shoot him. It reminds me of, like, whenever you're playing, like, a squad-based shooter, it's like, you can either press the right trigger to shoot them, or you can press the left trigger and order your teammates to shoot them. It's like, if I have to line up my crosshair in order to press a trigger button, why wouldn't I just shoot him myself?
Roger that, Chalice Leader. And don't worry about the Imperials. We'll keep them busy.
You're really gonna steal that Star Destroyer?
That is the
That's the
plan we were briefed on, yes.
Okay, Vanguard.
Did we bring Marines to do this? Like, I'm not boarding that.
Open fire on us.
Knock out its targeting system.
Let's do it.
Yes, use my ion missiles. Okay.
All that damage, and this thing still has teeth.
No wonder Talus Group took a beating just chasing it here. I wanted to see the Victorium go up in flames, but stealing it, I like that even better.
Which one was it? I think it was Rogue Squadron 2 that had... Oh my god, what is happening? Okay. Calm down. Jesus fucking Christ.
Access to its internal systems. Scan for a breach point, so he can send in a boarding team.
I mean, like, come on.
Bridging a Star Destroyer, just like the old days. Look out, Vanguard. You got a gunny story incoming.
Five hasn't heard it.
Sure. Just tell me when I can turn my comms back on. No good.
You never seem to turn your comms off. Fucking idiot. Oh, shit. Come on. Oh, almost. Man, I miss my auto lock-on lasers. Come on. Come on, fucker. There we go. There we go. Rogue Squadron 2 had a mission where you fight a Star Destroyer in orbit, and then it crashes onto a planet, and you have to go down, and it's still shooting you after it crash landed onto the planet. And any damage you did to it in orbit during the previous mission would carry over into the mission where it was beached, basically. Oh.
That's a hit.
Where are you going? Fucking, you're going nowhere. I guess we don't want to shoot it up too much. We want to do enough damage to it so that we can steal it. Oh, it's the garbage chute.
Here, we can send the team in here.
Way ahead of you.
Right in the trash chute. Now, push those last fighters back. Clear the skies.
I'm on it.
Enemies all over me.
These Imperials just keep coming.
Whoop. Oop, look at him go.
Sectors on me. Can't shake 'em.
Huh, that sounds like a whole lot of your problem. Where?
I'm in a real bind here.
Well, where are you?
Yes,
There we go.
it's me. You're in the clear.
Well, where are the ones chasing Frisk? This guy? There.
Nice shooting.
Is this him?
Get over to the Frisk.
Well, I don't know where he is.
Disabled one, huh? I'm on it. That's it. All fighters just...
Well, if I've taken out all the ones that there are, clearly I'm taking out the ones chasing Frisk. Oh, shit. There we go.
Yes. Thanks, Five. I owe you one.
You can pay me back by not talking anymore.
New wings are on their way. We can bring the boarding team in safely. Follow me to the rendezvous. We'll give them cover.
Vanguard, let's go.
Do we want to take out the power system of a ship we're trying to steal and presumably we'll need it to have power for? Man, these shields just make it so unfair. This is why ace pilots who fly TIE fighters are so much more impressive. That shit don't have shields. You're a badass in a ship without shields. That means you really know what you're doing. Anyway. Well, where is he? Where's he going? I'm following you, dude. Figure out where you're going. Figure it out, Wedge.
Morning, team. We have you on our sights.
Oh.
Ready to take on a Star Destroyer? Copy, Captain Antilles. Just get us there and we'll do the rest.
Yeah, Marines.
Guide those U-wings into position. Stay sharp.
Send the Space Marines in to do it.
Star Destroyer's crew. If our boarding party takes the bridge, they'll slice internal security systems. The crew will be in front with no computer access, and all the blast doors locked.
Also, we're gonna kill them all. Also, we're gonna turn off the oxygen and suffocate them all to death.
We've got an Imperial carrier. They're launching reinforcements.
They're not getting out the Victoria without a fight. Vanguard, take down that cruiser.
Find cruiser.
Leave it to me.
Nope, keep pressing the wrong thing. Where am I? What is it? Oh.
Boarding team here. We've secured the breach point.
Having situational awareness of the surroundings could be a little bit better, but I mean, like, hey, that's what you get when it's cockpit view, right?
We're wearing the carrier down. Keep at it.
Don't patronize me, Wedge. Yeah, the ion missiles locking on will totally be of help. I feel like that was probably a little bit
We're taking fire, but we're almost to the bridge.
easier than it should have been. What's finally? I did that in record time. That's just insulting. Stealth insult.
Cutting through the blast doors.
Oh no. Whoop. Where are they? Wow. Look at this. It took two of you shooting at it and then had to fire a missile in order to actually take it out. I feel like yeah, figuring out like where things are that the game's like trying to direct me to is a little bit on the weaker side of being able to do. And it's like, save Frisk. Well, like, okay, well, where is he? Is he in the underground? Like, how am I supposed to know where Frisk is to be able to save him? I mean, granted, I turned the HUD off, but I shouldn't need the HUD for that.
Okay. Regroup in my position.
Like, I don't have a, something that's like objectives, you know? Missiles. Take that out and just put in, like, objectives. Specifically for... Oh. Well, like, yeah, see? It has objectives on there. So why wasn't it letting me target Frisk's pursuers?
On me, Vanguard. Let's regroup at the Victoria. The boarding team might need support. We're almost through those blast doors.
Crying out loud here. Yes, fuck around with the computer while I'm doing this.
We've got another Imperial carrier.
There.
Make that 3 carriers.
Oh, this is going well.
Alarm. Get ready, everyone.
Gee, maybe if I could actually have free range of movement. Oh, there we go. I'm not getting shot anymore.
That Star Destroyer's taken down its own carrier. What a sight.
Yes, the ship is ours. You actually did it. And Project Starhawk has a Star Destroyer.
You need to get over yourself, lady. Huh, maybe I shouldn't have shot quite so many of the turrets.
You can take it from here, Vanguard. I'll escort Talos crew to safe harbor. Great work. General Syndulla will be impressed. Wedge, out.
Hooray! Can I switch back over to the Empire now? Not that flying with Wedge wasn't fun. I'm sure they gotta get that cameo in, right? Well, I was kind of going to breach points that it was directing me to. Like, I didn't know I had an option of which one I wanted. I was just going to whichever one came up when I pressed the targeting menu. I know this is obviously going to end with the Rebellion winning and, like, beating the Empire with their Project Starhawk, but, like... I want to play as the Empire. Why am I doing every mission so far? I was told that I would be switching back and forth between them. I better be doing 3 missions in a row as the Empire after this. Is it like that Transformers game where I do all the missions as one and then switch over? Look, man, you tell me you're making a game based on X-Wing and TIE Fighter. The thing people are hearing is you're making a game like a spiritual successor to TIE Fighter. No one gave a shit about X-Wing. TIE Fighter is the legendary game for a reason. Is that ever going to happen again? Are we ever going to have a game where you just straight up play as the Empire? Because, like, so far, that's the only one they've ever made. TIE Fighter was so legit. Like, you didn't get to fight the Rebellion as often as I would have hoped you did. But you were straight up Imperial in that. You, like, were rising through the ranks. You were joining the Empire's secret cult and doing secret missions and all that crazy shit. Then Battlefront 2 happened. They're like, oh, yeah, you defect halfway through. Like, not even halfway through. Like, right away. Although maybe it was halfway through, because that story mode was like 2 hours long. Just let me play as the Empire, man. That's all I want. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Now the Empire is going to want that Star Destroyer back.
I just feel like they're investing way too much into this cast of characters on the X-Wing side that they're probably not going to have as much invested when we actually switch over to the Empire side.
I'm guessing the commander has something similar in mind for the Star Destroyer, right?
I don't know. I'm
At least Wedge picked the right team for the job.
I'm being pessimistic about what the distribution here is going to be. I don't think anyone is going into this being excited at the idea of playing as an X-Wing pilot as part of the story mode and being like, yeah, I can't wait. I hope they downplay playing as the Empire. I hope playing as the Empire is the minority, because I really am here for flying an X-Wing. I don't know.